Okay, now let me just get into the logical reasons and my point of view on the logic of this, okay? Okay, let me just go with their arguments of what they say. That number one, these people espouse that there's 3 million Chinese people who have done this for centuries. There's ancient Egyptians and all these ancient cultures who used to drink their own urine, and that's how they sustain wellness and well-being and stuff like that, right? First of all, that's bogus, because if everything everybody did in the ancient world was good for us, then we would still be doing everything the way things are in the ancient world. But we get smarter and evolve our intelligence as human beings, and we learn science, we learn mathematics, we learn chemistry, we learn biology, we learn physics, and we learn ways to relate to the natural and the supernatural. And some of us have deviated from those natural spiritual forces, but at the same time, we realize things that are better. And one of the realizations over time by human beings is that drinking a natural fresh water is good for your body, and it purifies your body, and that you should eliminate your waste and allow your organs to clean the things that don't go into your bloodstream and remove them away from your body, right? So the idea that these people are talking about, that this is some kind of ancient practice that these people do, that these people have done and that people should do now, is really just bogus, and it doesn't have any evidence or basis in being good for you. And if you use common sense and reason, even if you are an ancient human being, you're standing out in nature, if you're receiving fresh water into your body, there's a reason why we have rain and rivers and vegetation and trees and waterfalls and things like that, because fresh water sustains life on earth, right? So if we're a caveman or we're somebody out in the wild and we're absorbing this fresh water, and then our body filters out things that it doesn't need, then it just goes back into nature. That's why you just stand by a river and you just piss in the river and let the other elements cleanse all of that used liquid and deal with it, right? But for you to interrupt, now if you want to talk about Eastern philosophy and things like that, these Chinese people, I don't know these Chinese people. You got to understand, just because Chinese people do things doesn't mean that it falls in line with the harmony of the Tao Te Ching and all the ancient Eastern philosophies and spiritual morality of Chinese people. There's a lot of Chinese people. There's billions of Chinese people, okay? Some Chinese people have built cities, have built ghost cities that don't even have populations. What's the sense of that? I've seen Chinese people in New York picking some random weird fruits from trees that they're harvesting in the middle of like parks in Brooklyn. So I don't do just things just because I've been in Chinatown. I've seen some things that Chinese people do. So I don't do things because I think, oh, Chinese philosophy is cool and stuff like that. Now, secondly, if we're talking about Chinese philosophy and we want to go into something like the Tao Te Ching, we want to talk about the harmony of nature. You have yang and you have yin. Okay, so if you're absorbing fresh water into your body, that's a actual yin activity. You're receiving water into your body. The yang activity is your body forcing the water back out. So if you're going to basically accept water into your body and then you're going to re-sip that, if you're going to re-sip urine back into your body, then basically you're canceling out that yang activity. So you're already canceling out the energy flow. So you're doing something that's deviant of what makes sense for your body. Okay, now second logic is people talk about, well, okay, so the ancient people did it. Okay, we're talking about now, today's, okay. Well, the second thing is that people say, well, it's just 95% water and 5% urea, chloride, sodium, potassium, and these other trace minerals and things like that. Well, the problem with that is that your kidneys should be like your friends, okay? Your kidneys are your friends helping you get things out of your body that you don't need. So if your kidneys are filtering out something, that means your kidneys are working on this, God knows whatever liquid. If you're not just drinking, first of all, if you're not just drinking water, But some people, if you're just drinking water, even if you're just drinking water, eating your fruits, your kidneys still have to put in work and work and work to cleanse that out of your bloodstream, So what are you going to do? You're going to put bad material, waste material back and make the kidneys work again to clean that out. Now, if you did that in so many cycles without fresh water, that means that every time that somebody drinks their urine, their kidneys would have to work harder and harder and harder until what would happen? Kidney failure. And in fact, I looked and saw there's an article of an 88-year-old man in China, I don't know how he even managed to live that long, who says that he regretted being one of the 3 million people who drank urine because now he's suffering from kidney disease. There's this cuts across all cultures. There's an African man in Europe, I think it's in London or something like that. He has said, he's claimed that he drank urine for 5 years and all these things, and you can see like he looks old, he looks like he doesn't look right. Then there was another woman, I think the name was Carrie or something like that. They did a show on TLC that this woman was addicted to drinking her urine. And she looks awful, she looks horrible. Like, because basically all the ketones, all the acidity, all the toxicity, these people are putting it back into their body. That makes no fucking sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So they're putting all this back into their body. Okay, so they're basically aging more premature, they're dehydrating their body, and they're repeating a cycle and never giving their blood cells fresh oxygen and water. So it just doesn't make any sense. Now, as far as then there's the other people, which even I thought myself, like, man, what about if you're stranded on in the desert, right? And you have no liquids or anything and you have to survive. Would you drink your own urine if you had to survive? Well, even the Army field manual that military elite like Navy SEALs would even use would not do that because, number one, first of all, if you're going out in nature by yourself and you don't have some kind of a emergency beacon device or something like that, first of all, you're just stupid. So you should have like layers of emergency protocol first before you even be out there in that type of way. So that if you did fall and break your leg and fall under a rock, you hit your emergency signal beacon and then, they could come in within an hour. But, some people don't do that. So let's say you were just stupid and you didn't do that, and you're there. Basically, number one, if you're in the desert, your body's getting dehydrated as it is. So whatever water you had before is starting to go out. So as your kidneys are cleansing your bloodstream, the water that comes out of your kidneys is already going to be toxic and highly dark urine and acid and salty. So what's going to happen is you're going to drink. Basically, if you were dehydrating, and if you were to drink that, you're going to be creating more dehydration because it's salty. It's like drinking seawater. Nobody just goes and just jumps in the sea and drinks seawater. So these are just valid, logical reasons why this is stupid, okay? And, the other thing is that a lot of these guys that are promoting this, these urine therapy people and these MMA fighters and this crazy ass cold snake diet guy and this guy, the Brian Rose and the Tim Sheaf, the reason why these guys they don't have a reason, they don't have like clear evidence on the benefit. It's kind of like some kind of thing to say, like a chest beating thing, like, yeah, I'm a weird and crazy man who doesn't care what other people think of me, so I'm gonna drink my own urine. But like intelligent guys are like sitting back like, are these dudes like really this stupid? Like, are you that stupid? That's really what it is. It's like, man, I thought that these people were intelligent, but it turns out they're really stupid. So that's the logical side of everything. So now let me go a little bit more. This video is getting longer, but let me go into like the more. I'll probably have to do, I'm gonna split this video into the part 2 side, but I'm gonna go into the moral issue of this and the emotional, moral, and spiritual part about it.